Hello everybody, my name is Noel Alonzo, and today I'll be teaching you how to drive a manual transmission vehicle. Throughout the duration of the video, I'll be talking about why you should learn how to drive one, a couple things you should know before you actually start driving the car, and I will also be teaching you, of course, how to drive it. Alright, so to begin, some of you guys might be wondering to yourselves, why should I learn how to drive one? Well, honestly, there's a lot of different reasons. But I'm only going to name a basic few. One of them, probably the main one, is that it's one of the funnest things you could do, especially if you love driving. It definitely makes you feel more engaged in your driving, and you feel like you're in control, which technically you are. Also, if you know how to drive a manual transmission vehicle, you're more open to a larger selection of vehicles when buying a new car or used car or whatever. Because a lot of the cars out there are only offered in manual transmissions. For example, the WRX STI, the Focus RS, the Mazda Speed 3, all those cars are only offered in manual transmissions. Definitely really fun cars. Also, if you know how to drive a manual car, if you know how to drive one and you eventually end up owning one, it'll be less likely to get stolen. Also, when you know how to drive a manual transmission vehicle, you're less likely to be distracted while you're driving, because you'll be so focused in driving, which you should be regardless of what you drive. But in a manual transmission, both your hands are pretty much occupied the whole time, and so are your feet, and you're less likely to be texting and driving or doing something else while you're driving. Alright, so when you first jump into a manual transmission car, you're going to notice that there are a couple different things that you're not used to. First thing you're going to notice is this knob right here. It's going to have numbers on it. These represent the gears. Number 1 is going to be right here, which is to your left and up. That's going to be first gear. Straight down the middle is going to be second. And if you go back to the middle and straight up, it's going to be third. And straight down the middle is going to be fourth. And if you go back to the middle and to the right, that's fifth. And that's sixth. And this right here, this is called neutral. And this right here, there are 3 clutches right here, as you can tell. The far right is going to be the gas, the middle is going to be the brake pedal, and this right here is going to be the clutch. This is what you're going to have to get used to. This pedal right here is going to help you engage into your gears. So definitely get your foot used to being on that pedal right there, because it's really... Alright, in this part of the video, you're going to see where I shift. If you'll notice, I keep it in between 2,000 and 3,000 RPMs, which is the gauge on the right hand side on the cluster. That's where you should be shifting if you're trying to daily drive. So what you want to do to start the car is you want to press this clutch pedal all the way down, and you got to make sure the car is in neutral. It can be in gear too, but just to be safe, put it in neutral and make sure the e-brake is engaged. And you push the clutch all the way down, and then you turn the key. And there you are. Alright, now that you have the car going, you want to get rolling. So the first thing you want to do is have your foot on the brake and have your foot right next to the clutch. You don't have to have it engaged if the car is in manual. If you turn on the car and the car is in a gear, you keep your foot on the clutch the whole time, or you could just put it into neutral, which is right here. You can just shake it. That's how you know it's neutral. You get a feel for it, and you can let go of the clutch and just keep your foot on the brake. So to get rolling, you're going to want to disengage the e-brake and keep your foot on the brake. Next, to go forward, you're going to push the clutch all the way down, have your foot on the brake still, and you put it in first, which is to the far left, remember that. And then to go, you're going to want to let go of the clutch a little bit, but at the same time you want to give it gas. So you let go and you give it a little bit of gas. And we're going. Alright, in this part of the video, you're going to see how I shift through first and sixth gear. This is what it should look like. Also, in that last clip, I forgot to mention, when you let go the clutch and you press the gas, you can let go of the clutch all the way, and then when you go to shift into the next gear, you let go of the gas, you press the clutch, put it in gear, and then you let go of the clutch and press the gas again. Alright, so for reverse, you can do the same exact stuff. Have your foot on the brake before you engage. You push the clutch all the way down, and you're going to yank this all the way to the right and down. And what you're going to do is you're barely going to release your foot from the brake, and you're going to tap the gas just a tad and let go of the clutch at the same time. But do not let it go all the way, because if you do, you'll stall the car like you did earlier. And you give it a tiny bit of gas, and as you see, we're rolling. You don't want to give it too much gas, because if you do, this will happen. You'll move pretty fast, and you don't want that, especially if you're backing out of a parking spot or something else. So to park the car, what you want to do is make sure you're at a complete stop, obviously, in your parking spot. You make sure this is in neutral, and just have your foot on the brake. And what you do is you pull the brake all the way, and you're gonna turn off the car. And just to be on the safe side, I would put the car in a gear, preferably just first. It can be any gear, honestly. This will just prevent the car from rolling anywhere, just in case, say, your e-brake doesn't work. So in this video, I talked about how to drive a manual transmission car. I mentioned about why you should learn how to drive a manual car and what you need. I also taught you guys about a couple basic things one should know before starting to drive a manual car. And lastly, I showed you how to drive one. So I hope you guys found this video very useful. And I hope to see you guys on the streets banging gears.